we're going deep into the life of one of the most enigmatic figures of modern aristocracy, Athina Onassis, a name synonymous with wealth and luxury, but also with loss, loneliness, and incredible resilience. Athina Onassis is the last living descendant of the legendary Greek shipping tycoon Aristotle Onassis. She was born into immense wealth and power, but her life has been anything but easy. Behind the veil of privilege lies a story of personal struggle, tragedy, and a lifelong quest for identity and belonging. Who is Athina Onassis? What is the truth behind the vast fortune she inherited? And how has she navigated a life filled with unimaginable challenges? Today, we will unravel the life of an heiress who has had to carry the burden of a legendary name while facing profound personal hardships. Athina Hélène Roussel was born on January 29, 1985, in Neuilly-sur-Seine, France, to Christina Onassis and Thierry Roussel. From the very beginning, her life was destined to be extraordinary. Athina's mother, Christina, was the only daughter of Aristotle Onassis, one of the wealthiest and most influential men of the 20th century. Her father, Thierry Roussel, was a French pharmaceutical heir. Athina's birth was met with great excitement and anticipation. She was seen as the future of the Onassis dynasty, the continuation of a name that had already achieved legendary status. However, beneath the surface of this glittering world, there was a darker side, a side filled with turmoil, dysfunction, and loss. Christina Onassis, Athina's mother, had lived a life marred by tragedy. She lost her beloved brother Alexander in a plane crash in 1973, a loss that devastated the Onassis family and left a permanent scar on Christina's psyche. A mere 2 years later, her father Aristotle passed away from respiratory failure, and shortly after, her mother, Athina Levanos, died from a suspected drug overdose. Christina was left alone, battling her own demons, including substance abuse, depression, and an eating disorder. When Athina was born, Christina saw in her a new hope, a new chapter. But this joy was short-lived. By the time Athina was just 3 years old, tragedy struck once again. On November 19, 1988, Christina Onassis was found dead in the bathtub of a friend's house in Buenos Aires, Argentina. She had suffered a heart attack, reportedly due to a combination of diet pills, antidepressants, and sleeping aids. Athina lost her mother, the last of the direct Onassis lineage, at a critical age when most children need their parents the most. After Christina's untimely death, Athina's life was thrown into a storm of uncertainty. She was placed in the custody of her father, Thierry Roussel, a figure who would soon become synonymous with controversy. Roussel, who was meant to be the guardian of Athina's fortune until she came of age, was viewed with suspicion by the Onassis family and the Onassis Foundation. Many believed he was more interested in the Onassis wealth than in the well-being of his young daughter. Athina's childhood was marked by a tug-of-war between Roussel and the Onassis Foundation. On one hand, her father wanted to raise her in his own image, in his home country of France, surrounded by his family, including her stepmother and half-siblings. On the other hand, the Onassis Foundation wanted to ensure that Athina grew up aware of her Greek heritage and the legacy she was set to inherit. This tension led to years of legal battles and public disputes. Roussel's management of the Onassis estate came under intense scrutiny. Accusations flew back and forth, claims of mismanagement, frivolous spending, and neglect. The Onassis Foundation accused him of siphoning off millions from the estate to finance his own lifestyle, and of failing to respect Christina's wishes regarding Athina's upbringing. Meanwhile, Roussel countered that the foundation was trying to control Athina and her fortune for their own ends. As a result of these disputes, Athina's childhood was far from stable. She lived a life of isolation, often feeling like a pawn in a larger battle over her inheritance. She was moved frequently between France and Switzerland, shielded from the outside world, and kept away from her Greek roots. Her access to the Onassis family was severely limited, and she was seldom allowed to visit Greece, the homeland of her mother and grandfather. This upbringing took a toll on young Athina. She was a child of immense wealth, but also of profound loneliness. Her father's remarriage to Gaby Landhage and the birth of her half-siblings created a complex family dynamic. Athina reportedly felt like an outsider, even in her own home, and struggled with feelings of alienation. She grew up under the shadow of a mother she hardly knew, a grandfather she had never met, and a family legacy that loomed large over her every move. By the time she was a teenager, Athina found herself at the center of one of the world's most significant financial and legal disputes. Her inheritance, estimated to be over $2.7 billion, was not just a fortune. It was a symbol of power, status, and a storied family history. But it also made her a target. The legal battles surrounding Athina's wealth began almost immediately after her mother's death. Her father, Thierry Roussel, was initially appointed the executor of Christina's will and the manager of the Onassis estate. However, his management practices soon came under fire. The Onassis Foundation, responsible for safeguarding the interests of the family and its charitable endeavors, accused Roussel of financial improprieties, including using estate funds to finance his own business ventures and maintain a lavish lifestyle. The Onassis Foundation fought to gain control over Athina's inheritance, arguing that Roussel was not acting in her best interests. This led to years of court cases across several countries, with millions of dollars at stake. The legal battles were widely covered by the media, turning Athina into a reluctant public figure even as a young girl. During these turbulent years, Athina's life was filled with lawyers, accountants, court appearances, and complex financial discussions, an unusual experience for a young girl. Unlike most teenagers who worry about school, friends, and growing up, Athina was thrust into a world of high-stakes negotiations and family politics. This had a profound impact on her personality and outlook on life. She became known for her quiet, introverted demeanor and a growing desire to distance herself from her family's complicated past. When Athina turned 18 in 2003, she was legally entitled to access her inheritance and assume control over her financial affairs. This was a momentous turning point in her life, a moment of both opportunity and immense pressure. Athina wasted no time in asserting her independence. She immediately took steps to sever ties with her father's management and appointed her own financial advisors and legal team. This move was seen as a declaration of her intent to forge her own path, separate from the influence of her father and the Onassis Foundation. For Athina, this was not just about managing her wealth, but also about reclaiming her autonomy and control over her life. She quickly initiated a review of the estate's finances, determined to understand every detail of her inheritance. Athina's decision to take control was applauded by many who had watched the years of conflict over her wealth. She began selling off several properties and assets that were deemed unnecessary or financially draining, opting instead to streamline the estate's holdings and focus on investments that would secure her future. This period marked the beginning of Athina's journey towards self-discovery and financial independence. She started to travel more, spending time in various countries and exploring her interests, particularly in equestrian sports, which had become her passion. Athina Onassis found solace and a sense of purpose in the world of equestrian sports. From a young age, she developed a love for horses, which became a source of comfort and stability amid the chaos of her life. Riding became more than just a hobby for Athina. It was a passion that allowed her to channel her energy and focus away from the ever-present shadows of her family name and the media scrutiny that accompanied it. Athina's involvement in equestrian sports quickly went beyond mere participation. She became a dedicated competitor, representing Greece in various international competitions, despite having spent much of her life outside the country. Athina invested heavily in this passion, acquiring some of the finest horses and training with renowned coaches. Her dedication paid off, and she achieved notable success on the international equestrian circuit, winning several accolades and becoming a respected figure within the sport. For Athina, equestrian sports represented a rare domain where she could carve out an identity that was entirely her own, unconnected to her family's legacy or fortune. The equestrian community embraced her not just as a wealthy heiress, but as a serious competitor with a genuine love for the sport. Here, she was Athina Onassis, the equestrian athlete, not just the Onassis heiress. This passion also brought her into contact with Brazilian Olympic show jumper Álvaro de Miranda Neto, better known as Doda. The two shared a deep love for horses and quickly formed a close bond that blossomed into romance. In 2005, at the age of 20, Athena married Doda in a lavish ceremony at the Onassis family estate in Skorpios, Greece. The wedding was attended by high-profile guests from around the world, and for a time, it seemed like Athena had found the happiness and stability she had long sought. The marriage between Athena and Doda represented a new beginning for her, a chance to build a life on her own terms. The couple settled in Sao Paulo, Brazil, where they lived a relatively quiet life, focusing on their shared passion for equestrian sports. They traveled the world together, competing in tournaments and building a life that seemed, on the surface, to be one of contentment and partnership. However, behind closed doors, their relationship was not without its challenges. Over the years, rumors began to circulate about infidelity, tension, and disagreements over money and lifestyle. Athena had always been known for her frugality and desire for a simpler life, in stark contrast to the wealth she possessed. Doda, on the other hand, was often portrayed in the media as someone who enjoyed the trappings of their vast fortune. In 2016, after 11 years of marriage, Athena and Doda announced their separation. The news of their divorce shocked many, and details soon emerged that painted a painful picture of betrayal and heartbreak. It was reported that Athena discovered Doda's alleged infidelities, which included a long-term affair. The dissolution of their marriage led to a highly publicized legal battle over assets, with Athena seeking to protect her fortune amid claims that Doda had sought to gain financially from their union. The divorce was another harsh lesson for Athena about the complexities of trust, love, and wealth. It reinforced the idea that even in personal relationships, her fortune was a double-edged sword, a source of immense opportunity, but also of suspicion and contention. The end of her marriage marked yet another loss in Athena's life, another moment where she had to pick up the pieces and rebuild. Following her divorce, Athena withdrew further from the public eye. She chose to live a quieter life, away from the constant glare of media attention. Athena retreated into the world she knew best, her equestrian pursuits. She continued to compete in international tournaments, although with a renewed focus on privacy and personal growth. Reports suggested that Athena began to reconnect with her Greek roots during this period. Despite being largely separated from Greece during her upbringing, she started to visit more frequently, spending time in the places that were central to her family's history. She made quiet visits to Skorpios, the private island that her grandfather Aristotle Onassis had famously purchased and transformed into the epitome of a luxurious getaway. There were rumors that Athena was considering restoring the family estate on Skorpios, but these plans were complicated by the fact that she had leased the island to Russian billionaire Dmitry Rybolovlev in 2013. The lease agreement stipulated that the island could be used for private development while preserving the historical and cultural elements tied to the Onassis name. This decision was a strategic move to ensure the island's upkeep without the burdensome costs associated with maintaining such a large property. This period of reflection allowed Athena to explore her heritage more deeply and to connect with the Onassis legacy on her own terms. She reportedly began learning Greek, a language she had not been fluent in due to her upbringing. Athena also made efforts to establish connections with extended family members and the Greek community, signaling a desire to embrace a part of her identity that had been largely kept away from her. Athena's wealth is estimated to be around $1 billion today, down from the original $2.7 billion due to various legal battles, market fluctuations, investments, and personal expenditures. But managing such an immense fortune is not without its complications. It requires careful oversight, strategic financial planning, and a network of trusted advisors. To many, Athena's wealth might seem like a dream come true, a passport to a life of endless luxury and opportunity. However, for Athena, it has often been a burden, a source of pressure, scrutiny, and suspicion. From a young age, she was aware that her fortune made her a target, not just for lawsuits and financial predators, but also for public judgment. The expectations placed on Athena to live up to the Onassis name are immense. Her grandfather, Aristotle Onassis, was known not just for his vast shipping empire, but also for his larger-than-life persona, his glamorous lifestyle, and his relationships with some of the most famous women of his time, including Jackie Kennedy. The world watched as he built his empire, but it also scrutinized every move his descendants made. For Athena, this scrutiny has been especially challenging. Unlike her grandfather, she has sought a life away from the spotlight, preferring the company of horses and close friends over that of paparazzi and high society galas. Yet, as the last remaining direct heir of the Onassis fortune, she cannot fully escape the public's fascination with her life. One of the most significant aspects of Athena's inheritance is the role she plays in upholding the Onassis legacy, particularly through the Onassis Foundation, established by her grandfather in 1975. The foundation is one of the most influential philanthropic organizations in Greece, funding projects in education, culture, health, and social welfare. For years, the Onassis Foundation has been at the center of Athena's relationship with her inheritance. It represents not only the wealth she controls, but also the immense responsibility she bears to continue her grandfather's vision of giving back to society. The foundation funds numerous initiatives, including scholarships, cultural centers, and medical research. Athena has remained largely in the background regarding the foundation's activities, often allowing the board of directors to take the lead. Yet, there have been moments when she has stepped forward, quietly supporting initiatives that align with her values. For example, she has shown a strong interest in supporting causes related to mental health, animal welfare, and sports, reflecting both her personal experiences and passions. However, her involvement with the Onassis Foundation is a delicate balance. On one hand, it is an integral part of her family's legacy, a living testament to Aristotle Onassis' vision for a better world. On the other hand, it is a constant reminder of the immense expectations placed upon her and the complexities that come with being the face of a philanthropic empire. As Athena enters her late 30s, questions abound about her future. Will she continue to lead a quiet, private life, focused on her equestrian passions and personal growth? Or will she step further into the public sphere, taking a more active role in the Onassis Foundation or other endeavors that resonate with her? There is no doubt that Athena possesses both the resources and the platform to make a significant impact on the world stage, should she choose to do so. But for now, it seems she is content to chart her own course, away from the limelight that has followed her since birth. Athena's story is still unfolding, a complex tale of wealth, power, pain, and resilience. She has faced immense challenges, from losing her mother at a young age to navigating the treacherous waters of inheritance disputes, divorce, and public scrutiny. Yet, through it all, she has managed to carve out a sense of self that is uniquely hers. Her journey is far from over. Whether she will one day fully embrace her role as the last direct descendant of the Onassis dynasty or continue to forge her path independent of her family's past remains to be seen. But one thing is certain, Athina Onassis has shown the world that she is more than just an heiress. She is a woman of strength, dignity, and quiet determination.